Hello and welcome to today's episode of Michael's Minty Music. Today we're reviewing Maroon 5's second album, It Won't Be Soon Before Long, which came out in 2007. It's pretty good, in my opinion. This is a track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist, which is most of them. The beginning of the album, absolutely great. The second half continues the theme. It's just not as great. Not every song is good here. Um, the first not great song is until halfway through the album. 6 out of the 12 tracks. The sixth one is the first one I didn't add. And there's only 2 songs in total that I didn't add overall here. So overall, a pretty great album. The only single off of this album technically was "Makes Me Wonder," the only single released before the album, which was on the radio along with "Wake Up Call" and "Won't Go Home Without You." "Wake Up Call" is the big one that I remember here because it's the most sort of evocative, but the other two were definitely on the radio. I definitely remember them. My favorite song here was pretty hard to choose, but "Little of Your Time" takes it, but it was pretty close between this one and "Can't Stop" and "Kiwi." Those three were all real good. But this one takes it just a little bit over. But I think depending on the day, I could go either way. I ranked this album just slightly above their first, Songs About Jane. I think that Songs About Jane might have slightly better music, but it's not as polished as it is here. It could go either way here. I do think that this album is slightly better just because of the sort of second sophomore album as opposed to first album, uh, but it's still very close in quality. And then this album takes my top spot for uh, best album from 2007. It's taking away from my previous favorite, Little Voice by Sara Bareilles. Um, I think this one is it's just more polished. Little Voice is basically it's technically her second album, but it's still basically on the same quality level as her first. So in contrast, It Won't Be Soon Before Long is clearly a second album that they've clearly learned more and improved a little bit. And then the other album that's probably a competitor here is Dreaming Out Loud by One Republic, but that's their first album, and it's also not. It's just not as polished as this one. So next up is my favorite album from 2010, Sara Bareilles' Kaleidoscope Heart. It's pretty good. It's one of her best. So I'm pretty excited about that. That'll be up next. Stay minty.